Hello pilots and ground crew, welcome back to my channel. Well, the weather's miserable. I mean, it's what, 10 past 1 in the afternoon, and I've got the lights on because it's dull as hell out there. Curtains wide open, lights are still on, it's dull as hell, and it's wet. So I thought I'd do a video for brand new pilots, and I mean brand new. So most of my subscribers have been flying a while, so you probably won't find anything useful out of this, but you might, right? So I'll let you know what it'll be about in a minute, because I get asked a lot of basic questions, as in what does this do and what's that doing, little things, and I always answer them. Occasionally, if it's a bit more complicated, as you'll know, I'll just make a video about it if somebody sent me an email or something. So what I thought I'd do today is just stick 4 of the most common questions I get asked. Right, like I've got it on board there so I can remember what I'm doing. I get asked, what's BB minus on a flight board, what's it do? Right, motor numbers, you know, like 2204, 5000 kV, often get asked them ones. Right, what's the difference between right-handed and left-handed circular polarised? Is there any difference, and is it important which one you use? Right. And the most common one, which surprises me actually, right, and like I say, new pilots though, but I get asked, what size props do I use? So I'm just going to cover them 4 quick things, right, and show you a couple of bits on the table as we're going along to make it easier for new pilots to understand, rather than just shooting out a load of information, so you can actually physically see what's what and what it's for. Okay then, let's just jump down to the table. Like I said, them 4 things for new pilots, and if you've been flying a while, you'll know this, right? So I won't be offended, right, if you leave, but go watch one of my other videos. Okay then, let's get down to the table and talk about them 4 things. To the table. Okay then, right, starting off with the BB minus. Now that is something I do get asked quite a few times, right, and like I said, for new pilots it's a fair question, right, because you'll get a flight control board. This isn't the best example because it's small, you can't see anything, but we're just using it as an example. You'll get a flight control board and it might say on it 5 volts, ground, BB minus. And a lot of people think, what the hell's the BB minus? Well, if you take a standalone buzzer, not one of the new modern ones with a battery built in and everything, just a basic buzzer, right, and you'll connect, I'll put that down, you'll connect a red wire and a black wire to it. These things tell you which is which way to solder them on, but you've got a basic little buzzer, and you'll solder on a red wire and a black wire. Well, your black wire will go to BB minus, not ground, right? You've only got 2 wires, right? Your black wire goes to BB minus and your red wire goes to, let's just say, 5 volts. Now why? It's so that you can set in your transmitter a switch to make the buzzer actually work. Now if you just had that buzzer soldered onto ground and 5 volts, right, when you plug a battery in it'll probably just ding off and constantly ring off, right, but that's where the BB minus comes in. You solder the black wire to BB minus, the red wire to your 5 volts, right, and then you can assign a switch on your transmitter, in beta flight, or if you happen to be using EMU flight or whatever you're using, but you assign a switch to your transmitter and then you can actually flick a switch and the buzzer will only work when you flick a switch, and that's what BB minus does, right, and that's keeping it really simple, right, like this video is meant to be, right, for new pilots. Right then, moving on to motor numbers, so we'll do a jump shot. Right then, I've got 3 motors to show you just to explain. Now, motor numbers, they can get confusing as a new pilot, I can remember, funnily enough, back about, I don't know, 7 or 8 years ago when I was building my first quad. I believe it was a ZMR 250. I didn't have a clue what motors to buy. I didn't understand. I searched everywhere. But it is quite simple if you follow some basics, and I'm going to keep this really basic. Alright, let's just take a number, for instance, what's on this? It'll be 22 by the looks of it. Hang on, can't see. 2206, yeah, 2206, and it says 2300 kV. We'll deal with the kV first, right? Well, actually, it don't really matter, but yeah, we'll deal with the kV first. The kV is the speed the motor will spin, right? So if you've got a high kV, the motor will spin faster. If you've got a low kV, the motor will spin slower. Now that's what the kV is. Now, the smaller the motor, right, on average the kV will be more. For instance, this tiny little motor here compared to these things, right, well, this one is 10,000 kV, right, and this big bugger for the plane is only 770 kV. Hope you can see that, 770 kV, right, because on a bigger model you've got a huge prop, right, and like I said, this is for a plane, right, so you don't need it to spin like a madman, right, you just need it to do its job. So rule of thumb, the bigger the motor, the kV will be lower, right, but the kV represents how fast the motor is going to spin. Okay, now the first numbers at the beginning, like I said, this is a 2206. This is, I can't see, but looking at it, it's definitely 1100. I think it's 1103, and this is huge. I can't remember off the top of my head, right, and I'm not getting my tape measure out, but it's a big bugger. Right, so the first numbers, we'll take this one, 2203. Right, it's representing the SARS. Like this is 1103, this is a 22, no, I think it's 2205 actually, or is it 2206? Can't see without my glasses, sorry, 2206. Yeah, it's representing the height and the dimensions. Now, you don't have to get confused with that, right? Just think to yourself, if you've got a 5-inch quad, you want to be looking for something where the numbers start 22 up to 27, no higher than that, but really around about 22, and the next two numbers like 2206, 2209, 22 whatever, the next two numbers aren't that important, but the 22 is. So like, let's assume this is a, well, we don't have to assume, this is an 1103, this is a 2206. Well, the 03 and the 02, the 06 aren't that important, so don't get hung up on it. Just think about the first two numbers, right, 11, 22, and this is about 38 or something, or 40 even, alright, but just think about the first two numbers, so that's your SARS. So 11's, 11 or whatever, you're thinking like a little tiny, well, not necessarily a tiny whoop, more like a 3-inch quad, right? Because a tiny whoop's even smaller than this. Even the, well, no, you can get tiny whoops at this size, but the 22s, you're thinking about a 5-inch quad up to say 27, right? And they speak for themselves, right? And joking apart, if you're getting into planes, 9 times out of 10 you're going to buy a ready to fly plane and it'll already have the motor on, right? But I don't want to get into too many details. I'm trying to keep this simple to get the video going, but just to give you a gist. So think about the first two numbers, 11 or whatever, so 11 is small, 22 or whatever, 22 is a bit bigger, about 38 or whatever this is. So you see, the first two numbers, that represents the SARS. Okay then, right, moving on to the antennas, right-handed circular polarised and left-handed circular polarised. What's the difference and does it matter? Right, here we go then. I've just got an old antenna here. I don't even think this works anymore. I think it's been damaged up so long. It's an old Fat Shark one. Got this years ago. Yeah, it may still work, right? But I know for a fact this is a right-handed circular polarised antenna. Now basically, I was going to crack that off and I don't happen to have one. Right, but I'm keeping this really simple. The wires in here are bended in a certain direction to send out a right-hand polarised signal. Right? Now if it was going the other way, it would be a left-handed polarised signal. The way, if I can find an old antenna, or if I can get the bloody top off this, I'll put a picture up just to show you the inside. But they do all vary, right? So actually I won't do that because it'll get you more confusing, because they're all starting to vary now. Everything looks a little bit different. But yeah, so it's the way the cable, the wires are twisted, shall we say, right? Whether it's giving out a right-handed polarised signal or a left-handed polarised signal. Now what's important is you can put either on your goggles, right, and either on your quad. It does not matter which one you're using, on your quad or on your goggles. It makes no difference whatsoever whether it be right-handed or left-handed. However, what is important, they both must match up. If you have a right-handed circular polarised antenna on your quad, on your VTX, you must have a right-handed circular polarised on your goggles. If not, you're going to have a lot of signal problems. You may not even get a signal in some cases. In other cases you might get a signal, but it'll be terrible. So just remember, if you're buying right-handed circular polarised for your quad, you need another right-handed circular polarised to go on your goggles. So once again, keeping it simple, that's what right-handed and left-handed means. Okay, right, moving on to the props, and they're right here. This is something I do get asked a lot. What size props do I get for my quad? Like my winter one. I've got a few of these, right, for winter. In fact, I've got about, I don't know, 6 or 7 sets of them. Right, now I know the pink, and a lot of people say I won't have them on my quad, but if it's thick snow and you go for a flight and you crash, you'll be happy you've got pink props on, because they really do stand out, right? Which I went from because it reminded me when I used to play golf in the snow. I had pink golf balls, which a lot of players do. Anyhow, I'm getting off track. What size props do I get, and what did I mean? Well, this is a real simple one. Right? When you buy your quad, let's say you go onto banggood.com and you look up quad frames, and it will say something like 5-inch frames, 7-inch frames, 3-inch frames, or whatever, right? Well, a 5-inch frame is telling you straight away you need a 5-inch prop. Now, before anyone says that prop is not 5 inches long, you're right, it's not. Right? It's not. But this single prop, right, is 2.5 inches long. So you have to picture it at the opposite side. 2.5 makes 5. Right, same with that one. So this is actually a 5-inch size prop, and it's the same as this little micro one. This is for 3-inch models, so it's a 3-inch prop. So just one of them props, right, is 1.5 inches, and then if you picture it opposite side like this is, right, picture it on the opposite side, you'd have another 1.5 inches, which makes it 3 inches. This one here is a 6-inch prop. So you've got 3 inches there, 3 inches there. If you measure it from nose to tail, so to speak, you know you've got a 6-inch. Right? And obviously this would be for a 6-inch quad, or you can use these on certain aeroplanes. But getting back to the simplest question is which props to use, right? And I don't mean which are the best. I get asked what size prop do I use. If you bought a quad that's been represented as a 5-inch size drone, you need a 5-inch size prop. Same as with a 3-inch size quad, you need a 3-inch prop. 7-inch or 6-inch, you need a 6-inch size prop. So you're going on the size of the quad. you wouldn't put one of these on a micro for obvious reasons. It wouldn't even spin because it'd hit it, and you wouldn't put one of them on a 5-inch size, right, because it'd be too big. So that's it, keeping it simple. Now, how do you know you're getting the right size? We're going back to numbers again. You will not see them, but on the side of all the props, and when you do a search at Banggood or Hobby King or wherever you shop, they'll say something like 50/48, right? And this says 30 something, and this says 60 something, right? So it's the first numbers. This is a 50 something, a 50. This happens to be a 50, no it's not, 50/48. Now the 50 represents 5 as in 5-inch. The 48, the second number, is just the pitch angle of the prop, okay? But to get the right size, it's the first number. If it's 50 something, you know it's 5-inch. If it's 30 something, the 3 becomes 3-inch. And if it's 60 something, you know it's a 6-inch. And it really is that simple. Well, there you go then. There's 4 little quick tips. Well, the weather was bad, right, for brand new pilots. These are questions I get asked a lot. I've tried to keep it as simple as I can. I hope I haven't confused anybody. But yeah, if you're a new pilot and you want some more information, just leave a comment and I'll be happy to get back to you. No problem. Okay then, thanks for watching and cheers.